There it is. Live.
Okay. Hey y'all, what's up? This your boy Mighty Mac, and I'm back again with a brand new live for y'all. Like I told y'all, stay tuned because I was gonna give y'all part two of the video that I gave y'all the other day. Okay. So today, I know y'all looking at my guest on the right side of me. Yes, the right. I'll say it's the right, the left. But she's on the right side of me. I'm gonna introduce her. Her name is Tamar, and we're just gonna have the regular conversations like me and Lack would have, but unfortunately, Lack cannot get in the video today, so Tamar will be filling in for her. Tamar, would you like to
Hello,
introduce yourself?
my name is Tamar. How you guys doing?
Don't be shy. Hey, don't be shy.
I'm not
These
shy.
are my these are my people. You got to get them more than that, baby.
Hey, Pete.
Right. You
You
know, she
know,
came at y'all all dry. We gonna run that back.
okay.
DJ, run that back. Get up your name again.
Okay, my name is Tamar. Y'all can follow me at My Vision on Instagram. And that's it.
And my vision, what is that? Oh, you know that's kind of similar to the moniker I had for my business, but I changed it. But I can't get that out, y'all, because I'm still in the process of getting that. But what is my vision? Like, what is that?
My Vision is everything. It's not just a life. It's not just a name or brand. It's a lifestyle.
Okay, and how could they find you?
On Instagram,
Give it to them again, girl.
My Vision. Right
Why
here.
you so shy?
Right here. My
Girl. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Please hit that notification bell because you do not want to miss when I upload. Y'all got me on here 3 nights a week. Like, this a job, child, because y'all like me. Y'all love me or whatever. And I love y'all too. So, first things first, before I get into my story time tonight, y'all, I just want to give y'all a little bit about what I'm doing tonight. My story time, I'm actually going to go in full detail for the first time. Yes, that's right. I said the first time that anybody outside of my family and close friends will know how I went blind and got kidney failure. So stay tuned because we coming at y'all with it. Okay. So I do want to do a request. Somebody asked me to do Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. Y'all, hopefully tomorrow we get y'all a little, I don't know if she sound like Tamar Braxton, y'all, but hopefully she gonna give y'all a line or two. Okay. So let's get into it. You know the song?
Just a little bit.
What y'all feeling? Now, a good background singer blends, baby. When they don't know it, they blends. Okay. So y'all ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
Is y'all ready?
It's y'all ready.
Oh, him. Is they ready?
They ready.
They
Come on.
ready. Okay. Last night I saw you standing and I started pretending that I knew you and you knew me too. But just like a Roni, you were too shy. Y'all was Roni back in the day?
Huh?
Was you a Roni? A tenderoni?
I was innocent back in the day.
Let me start. Sorry, y'all. I just had to ask that question. But just like a Roni, I was too shy. But you weren't the only one, so was I. And I dreamed of you ever since. How I build up my confidence, girl. Next time you come my way, I know just what to say. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. All right, y'all. She didn't give y'all much.
Yeah.
She gave y'all a little song, but she didn't give y'all much. But y'all, okay, so be aware this story is really I don't like doing sad stories, but it is kind of a tearjerker. I don't want to make anybody upset or sad or anything like that. So I'm just giving y'all a warning, a trigger warning. This story is a little heartbreaking, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna try to keep it together when I give it to y'all, okay? So I'll never forget, let's get into it. Sorry, y'all. I'll never forget this day. It was The day right after my birthday, me and my fiance now, of course, y'all know. I already been not just saying y'all, but me and my fiance, we had
You're
went.
my friend like that.
We went to Clearwater for my birthday, and at the time it was me and my roommate living
I was
together. Yeah, I mean this was a day trip,
Okay.
and I had to get what I had to get. You know, I had to be in the zone and all this plan. But so me and my fiance went to Clearwater. If anybody knows the Central Florida area, Clearwater is like maybe depending on how you drive, an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like if you get caught in traffic, maybe you're gonna be there 2 hours, 3 hours. It's gonna go up. But we went to Clearwater, and at the time I was living with a roommate. I had a roommate, and their boyfriend used to come over all the time. No, they did not live with us. So, and the reason I'm bringing, I'm not gonna give roommate a name. Is she's just roommate. We're gonna keep it at roommate, and his nasty ass don't deserve a name either. So he just gonna be, well, you know what? I can get him nasty. So his name gonna be nasty, y'all. So when I refer to nasty, I'm talking about the roommate's boyfriend. Okay. So we went to Clearwater for my birthday, and I'll never forget this weekend, y'all. I had an amazing time, not knowing what was gonna happen the very next day. So I kept getting calls from roommate. Roommate was blowing me up the very next day, calling me over and over, asking me when I was coming home. And I did tell roommate the day I was coming, but I didn't know the time. So I was getting calls, call after call after call, and it was like I was wondering, like, why is she blowing me up like this? Like, it must be something, but I paid no attention to it. So, a little bit of backstory, y'all. Hold on, before I get into that. So, roommate already knew that her nasty ass boyfriend was kind of harassing me in a sexual manner that I did not like. Okay, she had already knew this, so it was already on Front Street. It was no secret. I had already, came out and told her that he tried me in that way. So, because that's going to make sense. That's why I had to go back and tell y'all that. So, roommate knew that I did not like the boyfriend. I didn't like nasty just because of the situation that we were all in. So, when I got home from Clearwater that day, roommate was laying in the bed with nasty in my bed. Okay, y'all heard that right. They were in my bed. So, of course, that initially triggered my anger because I just found it so disrespectful. Whether this was, and all they kept saying, well, this is my motherfucking house, this is my fucking house. I get it that it's your house, but, it's just the line of respect was completely broken at that moment. So, during the commotion, me and roommate got into it, and we yelling. I mean, we going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Nasty jumps up, and I say what I had to say, and I'm like, yo, Nasty, blah blah blah. You tried to me and this and that going on and on because at this point I'm mad. So everything is just spilling out like tea at this point. Everything is just spilling out. So in the midst of the commotion, it was me and roommate going at it, me and Nasty going at it. We all going at it at the same time. So it's like a triangle, all three of us arguing with each other. And in the midst of that, someone hits me. Okay. So I said that right, baby. They hit me. And when my initial reaction, is to protect myself. So in the midst of me swinging, I initially thought it was Nasty that hit me, but it wasn't, y'all. Can y'all guess who it was? Child, roommate had done hit me in my face.
The roommate, by the way.
Yeah, she's not the roommate, y'all. Roommate had done hit me in my face. So when I got ready to swing, my initial reaction was to swing back. But when I realized who it was, I was already in mid swing. And I knew the power of that swing would have laid roommate out. She would have been completely out cold. But I was like, I'm not going to hit her because number one, it's a female. Number two, about the person who it was. So I wasn't going to hit them. But instead of hitting them, I punched the window, which is the side where roommate lived. It's like little decorative windows on the side. And I punched that instead. So when I punched it, when I pulled my hand out of the window, my wrist, it was like, all I heard my fiance yelling, like literally instantly. He was like, what the, and I'm like, what? Like, in my mind, I'm not thinking nothing of it because I'm mad. So I don't see the blood at this point. But y'all, I was pumping like a liter. blood was, when I tell y'all, it looked like a crime scene. Blood was shooting everywhere. It was all over the ground, the window, the wall, the floor. And I'm like, blood everywhere. So I'm thinking, of course, we thinking it's like a natural, like a little cut, when for some reason we don't like going to the hospital. When we see stuff, when we bleeding, we go, oh, we're running under some cold water, Yeah, like I ran some cold water on that thing, thinking it was gonna stop bleeding. And blood, as the water running, the blood is shooting. The blood running, the water running. It's blood everywhere. So at this point, I'm like, okay, something is wrong. It's not just a regular cut. I either cut it too deep. So when I go back outside, I'm sitting on the couch. Roommate is steady going on and on, like blood pumping out of my arm, y'all. And roommate steady going on and on, on and on, on and on. She's literally on the phone with the cops, going on and on, on and on. And the cops are saying, ma'am, if you do not stop, we're gonna have to arrest you, because if the blood is pumping like that, by him arguing with you, by you keep engaging and provoking it, he's gonna continue to argue with you and he's gonna continue to bleed. If you do not stop, we're gonna have to arrest you. Because at this point, I forgot what they called it, but it was putting my life in danger. So my fiance, when he sees the blood, he takes his shirt off. I'll never forget this shirt. It was like this chicken shirt. He had got it from Five and Below, and it had like a chicken on it with like some like a blackboard. Was it a blackboard? Is it a blackboard? No, I'm saying like you're in school with the chalk and stuff like that. Is it blackboard or backboard? Blackboard. Okay, whatever the board is, child. It had a blackboard on it, and the chicken was like writing on the board. He was like, that was one of his favorite shirts. I don't know why y'all with the chicken, but that was his favorite shirt. And he took it off and wrapped it around my wrist. Like, I don't know if y'all could see the cut here. I'll show you guys the cut later where my wrist was cut at. Oh, it's still sensitive. It's like weird. I don't know why. When people touch it, it's just weird. It feels weird.
Kind of like my hand sometimes.
Yeah, it be feeling awkward. So he takes his shirt off. He wraps his shirt around the cut. And it did slow the bleeding down, but it's still profusely bleeding. It's still pumping. So they called the ambulance. The ambulance. Did I say ambulance? Y'all say it, child. People be like ambulance, ambulance. The ambulance. But yeah, so by the time they got there, the ambulance, that's all just land. But by the time they got there, my vision at this moment, I noticed, before the ambulance or the EMTs got there, I was sitting on, roommate had a couch outside their house. I was sitting on the couch and I could feel myself drifting in and out of consciousness. My vision had started changing. It had started going completely white. I couldn't see anything but white. At that point, when my vision went white, my breathing had slowed down. It was hard for me to inhale. I can breathe out just fine, but gasping for air, it was so hard. And I knew at that moment, I felt like I'm not going to make it, because the blood was pumping so much and it was taking the EMTs too long to get there. I knew at that moment, my life, it was gone. And that's just how I felt, because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. And I don't know if the people, when they be like, you see the white light? It wasn't a white light, but I don't know if it was a white light or my vision went white, but it was white. I know that for a fact. And so finally, when the EMTs got there, they were able to suppress the bleeding. If I said that right, they were able to suppress the bleeding. And I would never forget. I know it's funny. I know y'all be like, why are you laughing? But that's how I deal with certain stuff, certain traumas to get it over with, pretty much. But I remember being on the back of the EMT, the ambulance, and the EMT had suppressed the bleeding. He stopped the bleeding for a second, and my vision started coming back as they put me on oxygen. And all I could think about, I thought I was in heaven because my vision came back. I'm like, Lord, like, baby, when I tell y'all the EMT was so fucking fine, baby, I was like, bitch, I gotta be in heaven. Because I was like, oh, y'all, I know I'm talking about my fiance in this room, but baby, that EMT was going. When I tell y'all, Idris Elba was standing right there in front of me. I looked up and I was like, "Oh, bitch, I'm in heaven," because that EOT was gorgeous. Like I was like, he was big, like a firefighter, and big and muscular. And I was like, "Damn, please
How you
save me,
doing?
yes, save me, God, please save me." But they had ended up rushing me to, if anybody in Orlando or knows the Florida area, Health Central, they rushed me to Health Central. I didn't live too far from Health Central. Y'all might know it as Death Central or Health Central. I don't know.
Yes.
But they rushed me to Health Central, and my fiance was literally like he beat them to the hospital. Like that's how long it took them to get me to the hospital. He beat them to the hospital in the car, and so when I got there, it's like this little waiting area. They take you to the emergency room. It's like a little waiting area. So they looked at it. It was like, oh, it's just a laceration. We're gonna stitch you up, send you home. I'm like, okay, I'm saying fine, great. It's not much, but I knew something was wrong. Excuse me. I knew something was wrong because I couldn't bend my thumb. I couldn't move my thumb. I felt my other fingers, but I could not feel my thumb at the time. And so I was like, maybe, it's just numb from, getting my wrist cut or whatever. So sitting in the hospital waiting to be stitched up, thank God. I don't know if that was God that shined the light, but my arm, I know it sounds crazy, but God made my arm bleed again. He made it pump because as in the waiting room, my arm started bleeding again, and they were able to see that it was more than just a cut because they were just gonna stitch it up and send me home, and they probably wouldn't have seen that I actually had severed a major artery, so I probably would have internally bled to death. So waiting on them, they actually hooked me up because at the time my arm started bleeding again. It was pumping again, like so much blood, like it was a trail from the waiting room to the room that they put me in. So sitting in that room, they hooked me to the IV, and I just remember the IV being like freezing. I was so cold. And the lady, when I say, "Wow, I've never been on IV while I was cold like that," she was like, "You almost not made it." She was like, "We have to give you IV like liters of fluid because she's like, you lost like the way she explained it. She said you lost almost 2.5 gallons of blood. That's how she explained it. I don't know how blood works, but in my mind, that sounded like a lot. And so it sounded like a lot of blood. And so she was like, if they would have got you here, I know this sounds cliche, but she was like, if they would have got you here any time longer, if you would have made it when you did, you would have not have made it. She said, yo, that's when she was saying the oxygen wasn't flowing through my body the way it should have been. So after they realized that my arm was cut, my artery was cut, they took me, they said they came in, they said, we have to take you to another hospital because you need emergency surgery and we cannot do it here. So they transferred me to another hospital by ambulance. And my fiance, once again, beat them to it. He beat them to the other hospital. So when he got to that hospital, they took me in, they set me in, they immediately took me to the back and they gave me some medicine. They did X-rays. They came back and said you got glass in your hand. Where you cut it at is glass in there, and you have a severed artery and severed tendons, which is why I could not bend my thumb or feel my thumb. I had severed the thumb tendons. Whew, that's a lot. So they told me they had to do surgery. The surgery was going to take approximately like 4 hours. So they prepped me for surgery. They had to work quick because I was still bleeding. I was still bleeding, so they had to work fast. So they took me to the back and they gave me the anesthesia. All I remember is the lady asking. I don't remember none she said before this, but she was like, "Are you sexually active?" And I don't even know if I answered, but I was out cold right after that. Like I was knocked out, baby. So I don't know what. No, they gave me anesthesia. And so when I woke up, I just remember asking, "Where's my fiance? Where's my fiance?" And she was like, "Okay, give me 1 second. I'll go get him." But I was still in the twilight, so I was still in and out. And I was like, "Where's my fiance?" When I woke up, and she was like, "I'll go get him." And she was like, "He's been there, sitting in that chair because I guess where the operating room was, it was a chair outside where he could sit at." She said he's been sitting in that chair for 4 hours. She said he haven't moved, he haven't went to the bathroom, he haven't walked away. He sat in that chair waiting on you for 4 hours. I was like, that's my baby, y'all. But when I woke up, he was in, I went to sleep again because, like I said, I was in the twilight. I woke up, he was sitting there. When I tell y'all, the next couple of hours was like a movie, y'all. So when I woke up, he was sitting in the chair in the room. I went back to sleep, woke up again. I was in the wheelchair, went back to sleep, woke up. I was at the car outside the hospital. Woke up, I was in the car at a restaurant. We went to Crystal's that night. And I went back to sleep, woke up, I was home in the bed. I was like, Lord, like it was literally in and out. Like I was loopy for a while. So the very next day, I went to the hand doctor to get the pre-op. You know, when you have surgery, outpatient surgery, you have to follow up with a doctor the next day. I went to the doctor, he prescribed me, I don't know if I could say that. Can I say Percocet? Well, I already said it. So he prescribed me Percocet. And I was taking them for the pain, but I at that moment I thought the Percocets was making my vision blurry because I noticed my vision the very next day wasn't as sharp as it normally be. It was like um, it was clear, but it was blurry. It was like a little blurry, but not too much to notice. But I noticed it. Excuse me. I noticed it because I had perfect vision before all this happened. So that's how I ended up noticing my vision had changed. And so I went to the doctor. I said, I don't want to take these because it's messing with my vision. He said, okay. He took me off it. And I didn't think nothing of it because my vision went back to being normal after the Percocet. So I didn't think anything of it. And then later down the line, like maybe a month had went by and it started changing again. And at this point, it was worse. It looked at like everything was magnified. So it definitely went over time. I didn't just wake up blind. It was like everything was magnified. Like when I was behind the car, it looked at like the car was right here to my face. Like the lights were right here. So I couldn't really see I started noticing I couldn't see at a distance. I could only see if it was right up on me. And after a while, even my phone, I had to do my phone. Remember that when I had those big old large texts on my phone? It was like,
Yeah.
why is your phone like this? I'm like, I can't see shit. I could only see the text messages if they were blown up. It had to be really blown up
You
for
have
me to see
kept
it.
scrolling to the left so you can see the rest
So
of
you can see the rest of it. Yeah,
yeah.
it was bad, y'all. Like my vision had completely changed. So when I didn't have insurance to go to the doctor, but once I started working at this particular company, as soon as my insurance kicked in, I went to see the doctor, and that's where it all went left. I went to Vision Works, and no, this yeah, yeah, the one down the street. I went to Vision Works, and they looked into my eyes. And it's so crazy because I don't even think she's been knowing me for over 12 years. I don't even think she knew the whole story.
I didn't know until after the fact where something happened, and because I knew about the situation, but I had seen you prior,
Before I went, yeah,
before you went
yeah,
completely blind. I'm like, okay, he alive, everything good with him. But then the last time I seen you was like that when you completely went blind was in the hospital,
yeah.
and it was just
But that's the kidney failure part of it. But because the reason why I haven't mentioned the kidney failure yet, y'all guys, because I'm getting to it because this is it's a process to it. So um, when I went to Vision Works, the lady looked into my eyes and she said, like all she kept saying was, "Oh my God, oh my God." And I'm like, if this bitch say, "Oh my God," one more time and don't tell me what's going on, we gonna have a problem. So she just kept saying, "Oh my God." She said, "I've never seen anything like this before." I'm like, "What?" She said, "Both of your eyes are hemorrhaging. Like your eyes are bleeding so bad. Like you need to get to a retina specialist now." She said, "Both of your retina has detached in your right eye." And she said, "It's bleeding too bad. You got so much scar tissue and blood." She was like, "You need to get to a retina specialist. Like ASAP." She said, "Do not wait. You need to go. If you could get there today, please go today." So I called. The first thing I did was call. It's so funny because I actually called the roommate because I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know what to do because I didn't think that all of this was going. to happen just from a cut. I didn't think none of this was going to happen. So of course, we eventually made up because I'm thinking I just cut my hand. I didn't know it was going to lead to blindness and kidney failure. So when I went to the retina specialist, they called their retina specialist, and I went to their retina specialist, and the retina specialist told me, he was like, you need to make friends with some of the top ophthalmologists in the world, because he was like, it's nothing that I can do. He was like, you're too far gone. It's nothing I can do. You're gonna have to. It's gonna take a lot of treatments to save your eyesight. And he said, and even then, I don't know if it's something that could be done. So of course, getting news like that, you try to keep positive, but of course, it starts messing with you mentally. So I ended up going to an ophthalmologist, and that was November 7th. And I never forget, I went and bought an iPhone that same day because I still had sight job. When I went to that ophthalmologist, he said, "You're too far gone. You're gonna go blind." He said, "I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't know what you want me to do, but he was like, it's nothing I can do. It's gonna happen. It's no saving it at this point. It's too far gone." So that was November 7th, 2018. And ooh, all them memories coming back up, Chad. I ain't gonna cry. It's just all of it coming back. So I did break down, and you ask yourself why, like, what have you done so wrong to, for this to happen? Because a lot of people turned their back when I started losing my sight. I really didn't have much people here besides my fiance. Cadillac was there, of course. Tamar was here, and a few other friends, but the people that you really think that should hold you down wasn't there for me. Um, I went to Miami. I went to all the specialists. Everybody was saying the same thing. It was nothing they could do, because unfortunately I lost so much blood that day that the blood stopped flowing to my eyes. The blood wasn't flowing to my eyes anymore. And so that was November 2018. February of 2019, I had to go into the hospital. I was still working. And like I told y'all on part one, I started noticing my ankles were steady being swollen. I was retaining a lot of fluid on my body. It wasn't releasing. And my urine, when I urinate, it will be foam. So when I looked it all up, I was nauseated. I was throwing up. It was saying kidney disease. And I was like, please, Lord, I know this can't be right. Like, I just know this can't be right. So I didn't think nothing of it. I went without getting checked, which I shouldn't have done because I was just too afraid that it was going to come back as kidney disease, and I didn't want that to happen. So when I finally got checked in February, I was still dealing with the conversation of going blind. But at this time, I had already lost my sight in my right eye, so I only had sight in the left at that point. From the time they told me I was going blind to that February of 2019, I had already lost sight in the right eye. So when I went and got checked to the hospital, I forgot what made. Oh, I went to the hospital because I couldn't breathe. Like I thought I had pneumonia or something. I couldn't breathe. I was breathing hard. I couldn't walk. I was getting shortness of breath, and my skin was really sensitive because when you have fluid on your skin, be sensitive. So I went to the hospital, and I remember the doctor was saying I had heart. They thought I had heart failure, and I cried. I'm like, what heart failure? Like y'all lying. Like this ain't right. Something ain't right. Right. And so I was crying. I was just going through the motions. And my fiance was there the whole time. They said, we got to keep you overnight. We got to do some tests. And anybody know me? No, I do not like being in the hospital overnight, undernight, 1 second. I don't like being there. And they kept me, he stayed with me the whole night. And then he came back and they said, you have at that point, I think it was stage 3, kidney disease. You have stage 3 kidney disease. And I'm like, I knew it because, like I said, I had already looked up the symptoms of what was going on. I just didn't want to accepted. So that was February of 2019. March of 2019, I completely lost all sight. So I hadn't even dealt with being going blind. The first losing sight in the right eye until they told me I had kidney disease. Till now I'm fully blind in March. So from March to August, I continued to see a nephrologist. That's what they call the kidney doctors, a nephrologist. August, I had to go back into the hospital because the nephrologist didn't treat what he was supposed to treat the right way. He was making me take water pills to get the fluid off, but he didn't tell me once the fluid came off, reduce the water pill. So because I was still taking a full milligram of the water pill, I had urinated all my electrolytes out. It threw my kidneys out of whack. My balance was off. I had to go back into the hospital August of 2019. When I went back into the hospital, they said you at stage 4 now. I'm like, come on now. Like, this can't be no more bad news. I stayed in the hospital for a week. After that, from August till November, I started noticing my body started back retaining fluids. My legs was hurting. I couldn't breathe. And my mom and my fiance were like, you need to go to the hospital. And I sat on the bed and I cried because I said, they're going to put me on dialysis. I know they're going to put me on dialysis because my kidneys, there is retaining fluid again. I know it. I felt it. And he was like, no, don't think like that. You don't know until you get there. I said, I know they're going to put me on dialysis. I already know it. So I was just crying. I was boo-hoo crying. And I went to the hospital. And sure enough, they told me that night, you need emergency dialysis. We got to do a procedure on you in the morning. They kept me overnight. They did a procedure. They put the catheter in, which is what the mark I showed y'all on part 1. They put the catheter in because at that point I was in renal failure. So they told me that it's because of the lack of oxygen when I was bleeding. They were like my kidneys had started to shut down when I was bleeding. When I cut my arm, when I was losing all that blood, my kidneys had started shutting down. So it was just a matter of time before I got it. It was no saving that either at that point. So they kept me in the hospital for like a week. I literally got out the hospital and went back 2 days later for the flu and stayed another week and a half. And that's the time that she was speaking on when she came up there to see me. I was in the hospital there. That's when they had put me on dialysis. But that whole
we kept this a bit of a secret because I didn't know until I knew about him going blind, but with the kidney failing, I didn't know about that until I got up there and just watching him lay there was like, damn, because you always, see him running around, working one job, going to another job, like he's always up and about. So seeing him in the hospital, kind of like, damn, it was like a wake up call. Like life is too short for to be out here arguing and just enjoy the life that you have now. He's, it's been what 2 years, 3 years, 4,
2.
It's been a good 2 years. He's still, up and running, happy, bubbly. He just had to basically change his lifestyle. He sees just with his hands. So he cooks. He can throw down. So if y'all want to play and y'all live in the Central Florida area, pull up. But he still cooks. He does everything everybody else can do. He just, can't really see, but he feels what he sees with his hands.
I see with my hands.
But it was just really a tough time just seeing him in that state, because I've never seen him in a hospital. Like I've never seen him stand still. He's always on the go. Always on the go. Things now.
I can tell you, it humbled me.
Right.
Y'all, when I tell y'all, I used to have. I've always been a entertaining person, but I had my patience level, baby, was not it. I was at 0. I didn't have tolerance for the BS, but it kind of humbled me because I did have really bad. Like my fiance always say, like, boy, you go from 0 to a million in a second because he always he be the one that be trying to calm me down because I've been done went off on you in a matter of seconds. But I mean, I still have my moments, but because of the whole situation, it have taught me, my anger got me in the situation that I'm in now. Even though I did have a very, very, very valid reason to go off the way I did, especially when you're being sexually harassed. Nobody wants to be sexually harassed, and then when the person that's supposed to care about you don't listen, it becomes an issue at that point. So I had all valid reasons to do what I did that day. Um, if I could go back and change it, I will. Yeah, that do wrap up the story. That's just how it all started, where it came from. But if I can go back and change that, I would literally go back and change the way it happened. Um, your gut always tell you something, because my gut was telling me stay another day in Clearwater, just stay another day, and I was like, no, I gotta go home, I gotta go to work, So my gut was telling me to stay, and I didn't listen to it. I still went home, and all chaos and hell broke loose, y'all. But that's my story. That's how I went blind. You want to piggyback off of that? You ever went through something that you wish you could have changed, or
Child, I say that for the time. It's a lot.
another story time, y'all? Well, y'all better stay tuned, because she got a book around this whole. So I got any comments? Anybody in the room? Hey, if anybody's in here, hey, how y'all doing?
It's, I think two people. It was fluctuating. So
Okay.
there's it's just growing though. Sometimes it'll fluctuate. I think it was five at one point, but
Oh, okay. It's more. Hey, any view is a view, so I don't care. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. I can't thank y'all enough. How y'all um made my subscribers go up. Y'all made my subs go up. So now y'all my almighty blinders. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. We gonna have a lot of stuff going on, y'all. We got a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, if y'all want a song, please comment, let me know. That song was for Nick earlier that I sung. If y'all want any songs, any story time, I do got a lot of story times coming. But any songs, anything y'all want to ask me, like I said, I am not a sensitive person. Please don't feel shy to ask me. Please make sure y'all comment and subscribe. And right now, y'all, I'm cooking. I am cooking. I got some steak in there that I made. Got my little bell peppers and onions or whatever. I'm gonna make some loaded potatoes. I got my butter. Y'all, let me tell y'all, I started Nivea. I gotta thank Nivea. Y'all know Nivea. Don't mess with my man. Y'all know Nivea put me on this pink Himalayan salt, y'all, and I've been using it ever since. Like, it is like I ain't never tried. I didn't even know they had pink salt until she put me on it, and I'm like, I tried a recipe that she came up with, the stuff ground turkey meatballs, and I've been using that stuff ever since, y'all. But I'm cooking now. I got some loaded potatoes. I'm gonna make my broccoli. Miss Tamar's in the kitchen helping me out. She's gonna cook them shrimp for me. And I got my potatoes in the oven. They've been baking since 6 o'clock, y'all. I hate baking potatoes. They take too long to bake. If y'all know a trick or something, please let me know. Oh, you know what I just thought about?
That's the poke holes with a fork and.
You know what's on the side of my head? That shot is so crunchy coming out of clothes. So got called. Do it hurt? Hey, yeah, that was my rat. Y'all wasn't no thought, but that was my ratchet days. I used to be in the club. Y'all remember them days? Because we about the same age.
We used to be in the club together.
Oh, we was. When you let a nigga, do you like it? Wanna divide it to the ceiling, to the floor. Y'all just had to get a little crunk. That story was a little depressing. I'm trying to be happy, get back in my happy mood, y'all, okay? But I'm finna go, because I'm finna eat, and I'm tired. You got something to say? You want to say something? Y'all, make sure y'all follow her Instagram, My Vision. Y'all, she's a very wonderful person. She got her own business. She's when she get more detail, I'm gonna give y'all more detail, okay? Because I'm gonna be working for her, because a bitch need a job, okay? Because my job right now ain't cutting it, so maybe I can get on the payroll, y'all. Y'all tell her to put me on the payroll. I can upsell anything.
I got you.
Anything you got, I could sell.
I got you. But we will. I think our next segment, I'm probably gonna be here one more time. I'm a little shy, y'all, but
don't be shy.
Our next segment is gonna be going over some. I guess trauma, like how to deal with trauma. 'Cause a lot of people go through a lot of things, and
Right.
sometimes they're not the type of person to want to talk about it or express it, so they keep it bottled
They
in.
keep it
So
bottled.
it's gonna talk to
Now,
somebody,
you know me.
anybody.
You know what? I'm the
So
type of person like I swear, like so. If Jay did, oh shit. Sorry, y'all. I ain't gonna give my baby name out on the thing. But if my fiance,
don't let you
if he did, if he did something like I cannot let it go. You know, you like, bitch. I'm gonna wait till later to say, not me, bitch. Let me tell you this now. I don't care what you got going on. Your parent could be done die. I don't give a damn. Yo, fuck that parent. We need to talk. Like, we need to talk right now. Like, if something bothers me, I can't bottle it in. Like, I gotta get it out. I gotta let you know right then and there how I feel.
Right.
Cadillac, oh y'all, me and Cadillac go through that all the time. She be wanting to get off the phone. No, you finna talk because if I let you go, we ain't gonna get nowhere with this conversation. We gotta talk because I feel like I don't like coming to stuff later. I like to deal with it in that moment, get it out. I don't want to be bothered with it later. I just like to get it out and move on from it. I don't hold grudges. I don't want to keep going back and forth. Like, let's get it out. And yes, he like that too. Like, I don't want to talk about now. We finna talk. I don't care. Like, I can't keep it in, y'all. Like, I be mad. Like, if he pissed me off, I be mad the whole. Like, if we going somewhere, I be mad the whole way. I won't say nothing. And I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you something. Like, it just come out.
I just feel like
right. I figured that you would take my feelings into consideration. I can't keep it in. That's just how I am with everybody. Like, if I'm thinking about something, I have to address it because I'm not a fake person, and I don't want to hold that in and be kiki laughing with you. Now, when we discuss, depending on how you handle what I'm finna say, we can laugh and kiki after. But right now, you can hear what I gotta say.
If I'm real close to somebody, you know me, I will cuss you out, call you. What you doing tomorrow?
Right, like that's just how. I have to get it out. Like, I can't keep it in
I'm gonna
because
cuss you out first, but then tomorrow we're gonna be like, hey, you go to the store with me. I'm hungry. I need to get something to eat. But
that's how I am. I don't
Right.
if I don't really mess with you like that, then if I cuss you out, I don't cuss you out. I ain't talking to you no more. But if you cool with me, then I'm cool with you. I'm a very caring and loving person. I just don't like people to try to take advantage. And I don't like lies. Lies irritate me.
Yeah.
When people lie, I just don't
And
like it.
Lies too.
Period.
Like,
It be so simple.
You could have just said that.
Like, you doing more by lying. You could have just told me the truth. We could have left it at that.
You gotta remember 6 lies. It's too much.
Let me tell you. Let me tell y'all, and don't tell nobody this. This is between me, her, and y'all. So keep this to yourself. But when I was in middle school, I used to write I would skip school, like I would skip like almost every day when I was in school, and I would write the notes in my mama name because I have my mama's signature down. Hey, child, the principal snitched on me. She knew what she was doing. Let me tell you. I lied. My mama had already knew that I was going to her signature because they had already called her. And she was like, "Is this something you want to tell me?" No. She was like, "You been to school today?" Yes. Because I would get home and beat the automated system. You know, when you go to school, the automated system call your house. Right. So I would beat that because I'm already home. So she was like, okay, well, I got to meet with the principal. I think my mama ain't going to go up in and meet with no damn principal. But she went, bitch. And so that lady was like, well, you have 47 excuse absences. Girl, you know my mama didn't write that. you threw that in there on purpose. You trying to dry snitch on the side, and I don't like that. You could have just kept it real and told her I wrote her down. Yeah, I was unexcused myself outside in Cadillac ain't making no better because I would call her from the school and she'll come pick me up right at the high school. And I used to stay skipping school. Like, I don't know why. I just didn't like school.
I did that one time. I had 4 in my signature one time. I tell y'all, I saw God for a split second because that's where I was with.
But you know what? I didn't get in trouble.
Oh, well, lucky you.
I didn't even get in trouble. Because my mama knew with a T. She knew I was up there. But one thing, I've always been smart. So I always made the work up. So
send me the healing.
I've always been smart. But all right, y'all, we're gonna go and wrap this up. Like I said, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure y'all also follow Cadillac at KADLACDIXON. Like I said, she's here, but she's doing some other stuff tonight, so she's not in the video. I know some of you guys like her as well and want to see her, but you know, I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna mix it up a little, have special guests or whatever. But make sure y'all still follow us. Thanks for the love and support so far. Make sure y'all continue to support. Make sure y'all follow. That's my vision on Instagram. I think it's MID. How you spell yours? Because people spell it different.
It's just how you spell it. My vision.
Oh, so it's MINDMYVISION. All right. All right, y'all. So I'm out because your boy getting hot up under this bug from hell. That Cadillac keep putting in. It got my chest sweating and stuff. So, all right. Peace, y'all. This your boy Mighty Mac, and I'm out. Cadillac, you gonna come stop the live?